Well, good day, owners, and welcome to Week 13 recap down here in the Commission's Cave. We're going to take a look at the week in review. We'll take a look at stats, and more stats. We'll take a look at the playoff games that are coming up and the count. And we'll also get my predictions for the rest of those games as well. We're also going to get a little special for you get you in the Christmas mood. So this week in the game recaps, I got no dog of the week or game of the weeks, as everyone in the playoff picture did enough this week to keep themselves there, so there was nothing really big going on with it. Going to bed on Monday night, I thought Jethro's Heroes had lost their bye, but waking up in the morning, seeing some texts coming in from Florida, from Mac Daddy's house, and checking the website, saw that Jethro had still held on to his bye, and then had remembered from years past that the division winner in each league division, East and West, got the bye. Didn't matter on their record. So Jethro and Steel Curtain will take the bye into next week. Get to sit back, relax, enjoy the other games. And also in future reference, it looks like if you don't make the playoffs, then your point totals, not your records against each other, is what determines tiebreakers there. So that worked out in my favor, as it ended up putting me in the basement. So looking right now at the first round draft pick for next season, which I thought would have gone to Missing Megatron's Johnson, but it puts him ahead of him on our points for, as I end up with the lowest amount of points this year. If you are in the playoff hunt, however, if you look at Stacy Lucas Kickers and Forces Fockers, they ended up with the same schedule or a record, and Stacy had way more points for, but Forces Fockers had beat her in the regular season, so he had the slot above her. So we'll get into the games. We saw Jethro continues to lose as he fell to Tuscany Mayhem myself, 129 to 147. This owner needs to turn his team around in the bye week, or he will be fighting for a third place finish if he can't find a way to win here. Jethro is led by tight end Travis Kelsey from Kansas City, who put up 27 points. And Mayhem got a good game from Master Tate, a.k.a. Golden Shower, as he put up 38 points in the Detroit game. Canadian Assassins will have to figure out a way to beat Steel Curtain, as this is potentially a second round matchup for her. This week she fell to him 133.5 to 175. The Assassins were led by her whipping boy Odell Beckham Jr., who put up 25 points, while Steel Curtain continues to grind out the points out of David Johnson, the Arizona running back, who 30 weeks in a row here has put up some spectacular points, and 38 points for him. Too Tired raised out of a potential bottom finish by beating Missing Megatron's Johnson 118.5 to 75. The loss handed Missing Megatron's Johnson this week's lowest score. Too Tired was led by Julian Edelman, the New England Patriots, with 23 points, while Missing Megatron's Johnson got 18 points for his highest score from Des Bryant in his loss. Forces Fokker ended his rookie regular season with a win over MGM, 120.5 to 113.5. The Fockers got 26.5 points out of his defensive player, who was at kind of a prick, Fonte's perfect for Cincinnati. And on the losing side, Carson Palmer lit it up for MGM with 35 points. But with the loss of Gronk and Green, AJ Green, Mean Dream Machine hasn't been able to put a win in the column. Huey Sogs couldn't shake the curse and saw another game fall into the losing column, as Mac Daddy continues to win in a 116 to 127.5 win for Mac Daddy. 30 points from Jordy Nelson wasn't enough for the Hogs, while Mac Daddy's house was helped by Devontae Freeman, who put up 25 points. Last game of the season, we saw Lucas Kickers steamroll over Conley's Crusaders and dash his hopes of a return to the playoffs. She took him 166 to 122. 31 points from LaShawn Shady McCoy helped Lucas, well, 37 points from Stafford in the Detroit game. Couldn't carry his team for the victory that he needed. The top 5 players for week 13. Number 5 was Andrew Luck, Indianapolis quarterback. He put up 37 points, sat on Conley's bench, but before we mock him for doing that, the number 4 player is Matt Stafford for Detroit quarterback. He put up 37 points as well, and he started for Conley, so he couldn't have gone wrong in the quarterback start this week. David Johnson, that running back out of Arizona mentioned earlier, put up 38 points for Steel Curtain and got him 3rd best scoring player. Number 2, Golden Tate, mentioned him as well, Detroit wide receiver, up 38 points for Tuscany Mayhem. Finally had somebody up in the top 5. And number 1 was Joe Flacco, Baltimore quarterback, put up 47 points for Huey's Hogs bench, which would have got him the win over Mac Daddy's Madhouse if he'd put him in there. But not to happen. Number 1 tight end was Dwayne Allen, Indianapolis, 29 points. He was sitting on Steel Curtain's bench. Defensive player was Vontaze Burfict for Cleveland, 26.5 points for Forsey's Flockers. The best defensive and special teams were the Bears and the Broncos. Both put up 16 points. Assassins had the Bears and Lucas had the Broncos. So way to go, ladies. And the kicker was Matt Prater for Detroit. He put up 18 points and he was on Steel Curtain's team. What do we got? Before we get into the stats, we'll get you in the holiday mood. Got a little insert here for you, a little Christmas cheer, and to get you started as we're into December already. So take a look at this, and I'll be right back. You kids all ready for a Christmas story? Okay. 'Twas the night before playoffs, as I sat down with some nog, not a creature was stirring, not even a hog. The rosters were checked by the commish with care, in hopes a champion soon would be declared. The owners were nestled all snug in their beds, while visions of championship rings danced in their heads. And Nat in her jersey, and me with a cookie, just settled in bed for a round of holiday nookie. When out on the roof there arose such a clatter, I sprang from my bed to see what was the matter. Away to the window I flew in a flash. I tore open the shutter and threw up the sash. The moon on the breast of the new fallen snow gave the luster of midday to the objects below, when what to my wondering eyes should appear but a miniature sleigh and 8 tired owners. With a little old driver so lively and full of funk, I knew in a moment the commish was drunk. More rapidly than the Philadelphia Eagles his curses they came, and he whistled and shouted and called them by name. On Curtin, now Jethro, now Mac Daddy and Fockers, on Lucas, on Assassins, no seriously, get on her. On Conley, on Johnson, to the top of the league, to the top of the pile, now dash away, we'll know the champ in a while. As dry heaves hit the commish on the fly, he just missed a drone, I hope he won't die. So up on the rooftop the curses still flew, with a sleigh full of owners and a drunken commish too. And then in the tinkling I heard on the roof, which one of you assholes broke my bottle of 100 proof? And I drew in my head, and as I was turning around, when down the chimney the commish came in a bound. He was dressed all in Pat's gear from his head to his feet, and his clothes were all tarnished with vomit and he reeked. A bundle of owners he had flung on his back, and he looked like a peddler as he stood there and scratched his sack. He held up Huey and MGM as they hung from his fist. For the hell is too tired? Did he even make the list? He then spoke not a word, but went straight to his beer. I didn't bring Mayhem, that cross-dressing queer. And laying his finger aside of his ass, he bent over to go up the chimney and let out some gas. He staggered to his sleigh, the owners in tow. Shut up, you bums, let's go find me a hoe. But I heard him explain as he flew out of sight, good luck in the playoffs, and to all a good fight. That's it, boys and girls. Merry Christmas, everybody. Okay, hope you enjoyed that. We had a lot of fun putting that together for you guys. And anyway, we'll move along here. We'll do a look at some stats for this year. We saw Steel Curtain take the best record in the regular season with 11-2. Most points for a team in the season was Jethro's Heroes. He put up 1,896.5 points. That's the highest total in the league history, and besting Acadian Assassins 2015 total of 1,880 by 16.5 points. So Way to go, Jethro. Lowest total points goes to myself, Tuscany Mayhem, as I was only able to put up 1,500.5 points, so 1,500.5. Well, which is well above the worst we've had, which was Team McDonnell, who no longer with us. He put up 1,280 points, so that is the benchmark low. Week 3's 211 points by Jethro's Heroes was the regular season's highest score, and the only 200 plus game we had this season. Too Tired's 64 points in week 6 was the league's lowest score for the season. We peaked early as week 1 saw, the league, we put up the total points of 1,673.5 points. And week 6 saw our worst combined total, which as a team league we put up 1,450 points. Power rankings, much talked about in fantasy football, and ESPN used to do these for us with a little bit of humor thrown in. They were quite fun to do, but they don't do it anymore. Or didn't do it this year for sure. Anyways, so for you math heads, stat heads out here, here's the formula I used to come up with. It's done by a guy, calls it Eberron Lake Power Rankings, probably from where he lives. So he puts it up. So it takes your team's average score, times it by 6, and then it takes your high score and your low score together and times that by 2, and then adds that together with your team's average score that you did with times 6, and then you're going to add that to your winning percentage times 200 and then times 2, and then divide all that by 10. Make sense? Anyways, if you want to see the formula, I can send you a copy of the web page where they break down and explain their whole system and how that works, and they think it's the best way to go. So anyway, did all that, came up pretty close to the final standings, but Steel Curtain ended up as our number 1 power rank guy, and it gave him a number of 180.6. Jethro's Heroes number 2 at 171.6. Luke Ass Kickers at 160.8. Mac Daddy at 4th at 158.6. Connolly's Crusaders were in 5th at 153.5. Forcey's Fockers are 6th at 152.9. Caney Assassins came in at 7 at 152.7, pretty close. Huey's Hogs 148.9. 9th place MGM 146.3. Megatrons, missing Megatrons Johnson 10th place 137. Too Tired 11 133.1, and Tuscany Mayhem came in with a power ranking at the bottom end of 131.5. According to them, that's like your average score that you should look at. So it does have a formula for it, so works out pretty good. It's pretty darn close to what we ended up as a regular season ending here. So playoffs for week 14. We have Luke Ass Kickers, who's ranked 5th, taking on 4th ranked Forcey's Flockers. Both finished with 8 and 5. Luke Ass is on a 4-game win streak with big scores in all those wins. Well, Forcey is on a 2-game winning streak. This is Luke Ass Kickers' 3rd trip to the playoffs, and looks to be bringing in a strong team. I see the rookie coach falling to the veteran in this one, as I take Luke Ass Kickers to take this first round of the playoffs. In our 2nd game of the playoffs, we see 6th ranked Acadian Assassins with a losing record of 6 and 7, taking on 3rd ranked Mac Daddy's Madhouse with a record of 9 and 4. Assassins enter with the 1 loss to Steel Curtain, while Mac Daddy got by Huey's Hogs. Big Ben is in Buffalo. Hopefully the weather's not a factor. We also got Russell Wilson in the Frozen Tundra at Lambeau, which could be the difference. Who plays the right team and leaves nothing on the bench will determine this outcome. Too close to call, but experience helps, and this is Mac Daddy's first time into the playoffs, while the Assassins return for a 2nd year in a row. I'm going to take the Assassins in this one. In other matchups, Tuscany versus Mayhem versus Too Tired. I'm going to take Tuscany Mayhem in that one. Missing Megatrons Johnson's taking on MGM. I think MGM slide continues, and I'm going to take the Johnson in that one. And Huey's Hogs takes on Connolly's Crusaders, and we'll take Huey's Hogs in that one. Not that any of these matchups matter, because the bottom 6 will stay the way it is for the draft. Nothing's happening in the playoffs this year for us. Thursday night football. The Raiders are taking on the Kansas City Chiefs in what should be a good game. And also, Monday Night Football should see another good game as we see Baltimore at New England. There are no bye teams this week, so all your players are available unless they're out with injuries. Check into that. Lots of guys went down again this week, so see how that goes. And everybody in playoff contentions, good luck to our 4 teams that are playing, and we'll talk to you again next week.